Welcome, one and all. It is the final match for Eastern Michigan University here in ESC. We're very excited to be here. I'm Gary, joined by Menderbug. Menderbug, why don't you tell us a little bit about this match we got coming up?
Well, it is a match of varied stakes tonight. We've got EMU, who are already confirmed for playoffs, pretty much locked in on the third seed. There is a slight chance that things don't pan out if Akron drops a map to Bowling Green, and then things get a little bit weird. But all things considered, it is highly likely EMU is locked in at number 3 for playoffs. And for Northern Illinois, this match is a big deciding one. They currently sit at 4-5 in the standings. A loss here would put them at 4-6, where there are already 3 other teams at 4-6, all dancing around the playoffs cutoff. And that would all go down to tiebreakers. It would go down to head-to-head, to map losses, things like that. And so if you're Northern Illinois, you'd like to ignore all of that, win this match, be 5-5, and comfortably get into playoffs. So before things get weird. But
yeah, you want to get ahead of that. Just get that nice 5-5. Much cleaner than the 4-6, honestly.
Much cleaner.
But of course, EMU, given that they are number 3 right now, are the favorites. Was flawless up until last week, losing the match to Akron and then that other single map to Central Michigan University. So they've had a bit more tests in this latter section of the regular season, but still looking really good, looking really strong as we look ahead to playoffs.
Right. We're going to go ahead and look at the schedule. We've got, so like we said, this was the final Valorant match, but there's a whole plethora of other games waiting around the corner, including Eastern's League tomorrow night. And then a little bit next, we've got Rivals, we've got Smashy Bros, and we've got Overwatch. It'll be delightful. But in terms of this match for EMU, what I'm looking for is mostly comfort and mental. I don't think it would be crazy if they went out and played some more crazy maps that they aren't used to, maybe flesh out the map pool, get some reps going into things. But after what I can only assume was a frustrating loss last week.
Oh yeah.
Things like some tech issues, and maybe it's easy to write those things off as sort of one-off tech things, but I'd like to see a recoup of the mental, a refinery of the game plan, that standard that they hold themselves to.
I'm inclined to agree. I think the match against Akron was definitely a test, showed a lot of the holes in the game plans they had. I hope to see them bring out the Abyss tonight, personally.
Ooh,
I think
yeah.
after the showing against Akron, like on their attack side in particular, a lot of the weaknesses were exploited. So I want to see that, get something more confidence inspired in their play there. But they've been looking good. It's like you're saying, it's more of a mental thing at this point. The last game last week against Akron was a little rough. They bounced back in Central, even though they did lose a map. They still won the series overall, which is, I think, a good thing, given they lost the map 1 and they managed to come back, unlike the Akron series, where after map 1, things didn't really go too well. Map number 2, it was a tough one.
Right, and maybe that stuff out of their control. Maybe it's not. It seemed to get to the players regardless, which is something you definitely need to be able to shake off. I would personally like to see 2 maps. I'd like to see a map. I want to see Corrode. And I want to see... Okay, Pearl's Ban, getting into the map bans right here. I would love to see Corrode, and I would love to see a map where Lumac is on Duelist. I want to see Corrode because they've been running him on KO. I want to see him look good in both spots. He had definitely some impactful rounds, but I would say far and away his weakest performance against Akron that we've seen since the start of the conference. So he's one of the players I'm really looking at. Maybe Wolfenite as well had a rough go of things. We're looking to see a bounce back and look very strong.
Right. So we're going to see Eastern picking Split, the map that did not really go their way against Akron last week, went fine against Central Michigan, but something that, there may be attack side calling, could use a little bit of looking at, and I think we should be able to see what changes they make in their game plan. That's going to be exciting to see. And it was going to be Lumac on that duelist, like you're saying, on the Yoru. Definitely where he's looked strongest, and we get the corrode too.
Beautiful.
Just what you were looking for.
I love it. This is exactly what I was looking for, especially the split. We watched the attack side versus Akron not look too flexible at all, and it was a big boon for them. So these are great maps to reinstill confidence going into playoffs and get those reps, get things going.
Yeah, I think getting the reps in is important. Where maybe and we get the Abyss, just what I was looking for. Okay, so should we get all 3 maps, then we hit all the spots we were looking for. Abyss, another map where Lumag was on the KO last time, didn't quite work out, didn't have the same impact we're used to seeing from him. This should be a really great pool, chance for them to get the confidence back, get the reps in ahead of playoffs, get themselves ready for what's to come.
Certainly. I'd have to think that the map pool favors EMU here slightly. I mean, yeah, they're definitely the favorites going in. It's going to be Illinois fighting for this one, Northern Illinois, and so I'm excited. Remind me, they had we had Alexander on Waylay, correct? On split,
yeah.
And Lumac on the Yoru. Okay, that's good. I would love to see a solid Lumac performance on the Yoru as well. It's my eyes going over to Wolf and I. But in terms of the last match, Lumac seemed to have found his footing once again, and we're really looking for him to hit that stride again, show that was just last week a blip in an otherwise solid, dominant record. Look at that, 373 ACS. Damn.
I think Lumac's always been the most compelling player on this roster to me. You know, came in just from the TikTok adverts. The first week on the Phoenix, really just being very explosive. And then the role swap has been interesting to follow. Obviously, he's still been playing quite a bit of Duelist, but has been having the KO at the Killjoy as well, I think, on Haven. So flexing around a little bit. It's been interesting to watch how he has been able to develop and still putting on, as you can see here, really impressive numbers. So I'm curious to see how he does here today on that Yoru, and then moving over to the KO for maps 2, and should there be a third, the KO there as well, presumably.
Right, unless they want to try to change things, keep things flexible, open up some new compositions going into playoffs. But I don't think that would be the case.
It's hard to say.
I think if you're working on comps, you save them for playoffs. Maybe it's a save them type of angle.
That could definitely be possible
in the scrims, but here I expect nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I think we're going to go to a quick break here before we get into the agent select, get into our map number 1, and then we'll be back.
Yeah, just a few minutes. This is
Getting
shiny.
right into it.
I like this. Northern
Yeah,
Illinois.
wait, what?
I've never seen this agents like
Fancy.
this. Is quite good. This is exceeding my expectations. They've already locked in the Vito and the Astra, a team after my own heart. I love it. This could be a strange composition.
The Vito is not he's a character that I think from the get-go people were like theorizing would be good here on Bind, but we haven't
Split.
really oh, we're on Split first.
Right.
I forgot.
Right. There's no bind
Well,
in the pool, in fact, so there's not even like a
my apologies.
first. It's just like
I was getting a little excited. I think I saw the sky. I was like, yeah, that's a fine pick.
right. No, that
but
makes
Split
sense.
has similar reasons. I think it's interesting here. No raise on the side of EMU means I think a lot of the value you'd hope to get out of the Vito pick doesn't necessarily come to fruition. You could still like trade, out the Sky util or the Fade util rather, or the Yoru, but it not quite the maximum potential we could see.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at the raise, the interceptor to delete the nades, potential deep satchels, and of course the showstopper. But I think saving a life from the saturate, the hinder, will be just as valuable here. I like this composition. It's going to be a little bit scrappy. It's going to be a little bit brawly. Vito's got some good stuff. This is one of his more picked maps, I think in the tier 1 level.
When I'm looking at this NIU comp, I think the main weakness that stands out to me is its exec power.
Yeah.
Without the double dive potential, without that big catalytic util like from an Omen or a Breach or even a Harbor, it can be tricky, but we see all 5 of them over towards A where it's just Wolfenite to try and hold things down.
Yeah, I was going to say we're going to have to pick the macro a little bit smarter here, but caution to the wind, full death ball dive onto A site. Already in a post plant with man advantage. Interceptors live.
And they take CT immediately. A great reaction.
Great reaction. 2 players, or excuse me, all 4 players flanking, meeting up in main through this one, flipping the site completely. Who's going to draw first contact? Redefy. It's the first pick, back on the way in, dueling well onto site and through spawn. There's a player flowers, but gets jump cleared and traded out by Comfy. Comfy's good for a second. Things go down to the wire, and Comfy, things are looking rather comfortable in the pistol round for him.
That was surprisingly clean.
Right?
Keeping, was it all 4 alive there in the end? No, just 2, the overlay. Deceiving us.
Right.
Yeah, 2 alive, but in the positions I thought were going to be much more difficult to break. Instead, it was NIU opting to fight out of screens, take it to them, and it ended up biting them as we got, I think, a bit of a technical pause. I'd find it surprising if there was attack already so soon.
Right. I mean, yeah, you have to think that after taking spawn, and there's just, it's strange because there's a player flowers, there was a player on that deep spot that doesn't quite have a name, tucked on the left of spawn, player site and 2 player screens, and yet the 1v1s seemed pretty isolated. Maybe not just swinging all together. They seemed to drop one by one, and at the end, pound for pound, the plant wasn't good. That's a plant for heaven where you'd love to see them take spawn and send a couple players up to heaven to play the post and get active.
I thought that was going to be what was coming, but it's hard to tell. EMU took mid instantly, but there was no info there, no lurker from NIU to give that intel to the rest of the team, so they had to be cautious. And so I think they maybe could have tried to push a little bit further, take heaven instead, but when there's 4 people all coming from main, it kind of caught them off guard, which is understandable, but thought the reaction was there, just not quite taking it all the way.
Right. They did the hard part, is what it seemed like. And okay, I like that. Staying sharp, keeping the hand-eye coordination good. Is that chapstick? Yeah, need to stay smooth. Can't have those
Hashtag
filthy
stay smooth.
chapped lips getting in the way. No. It's not what you want.
Can't be not in the last game of the season. You just can't be having chapped. You can't be going in map number 1, last game of the regular season. You have to have nice smooth lips.
It's
We only have the
important.
pistol round to work with, guys. I'm sorry, we're kind of vamping here.
you gotta finish strong in the conference. I
Mm.
mean, yeah. What is that flex that Alexander's got? That's pretty. It's an NIU tech pause. We're getting words. We're gonna wait for them to get some things sorted out. It made sense. I saw none of them moving in spawn. I do
have one other thing we could talk
Sure.
about in the pistol round.
Go for it.
Is that they gave the orb to Bagel to the Veto.
Yes.
And I'm curious what they're funneling into the evolution as opposed to something like maybe the Seekers, maybe the Waylay Convergent Paths, something more powerful in terms of taking the site. Maybe it was just based on the positioning. They wanted to give it there instead of the Astra, but just something worth noting, worth keeping an eye on as we hopefully get into some of these future rounds. See,
you consider
what
that
they
Bagel
do.
might be a cracked aimer? And the
Have they
exec
not?
power is the evolution procced, swinging through mollies and flashes, just killing everyone. Because that's what I'm
Mhm.
imagining here. That's what I'm imagining.
Well, what's good
Man.
about I mentioned earlier the perhaps weakness of the NIU comp lacking in the exec power, but what they're matched up into the double duelist, and I think with a comp like that, you're really more focused on flooding and doing set retakes rather than hard anchoring.
Yeah.
So in that respect, Veto is phenomenal. The interceptor being able to be placed in the like against the retake positions can be really, really tough to break through. Means you're not going to be able to just get that flash out with the Yoru, the fade eyes get eaten. You can still have trouble when it comes to the dive. Like, you know, the interceptor doesn't do anything against the Waylay light speed. It can spot out the Yoru gate crash if it's close enough. Otherwise, it just goes under.
Yeah.
So it's a little hard in that respect, but without the supportive utility, it can make the retakes a lot weaker. Of course, on the pistol round, wasn't too much utility to go around anyways. Ended up just being dry fights to get EMU that round number 1.
Does it zap
Something to
clone? Like, is it an auto clone detector? It just zaps the clone?
You know, I don't know.
I actually don't know, because that would
I
kind
don't
of
believe it
ruin.
does.
I mean, that's what I would think, because the point is like deception. Like the enemy util shouldn't. It doesn't really differentiate. But then again, like it wouldn't do what the clone is meant to do. But then again, like that's also the point of the interceptor, is it doesn't let the utility do what it's supposed to. And
Let me
I
pull
mean,
up the
Yoru
Valorant
clone,
Mythbusters real quick.
Yoru
Veto.
clone, it fits the prerequisites of being utility that, you know, interacts with the environment in that way. So I would think,
Yeah, let's cut
yeah.
to a break while we get this tech pause resolved. Don't go anywhere because we got
Don't
a
go anywhere.
hot anti-eco round coming up for EMU. Wow. And we're back.
Very quick into things. Some HUD issues be damned. The round 2 is underway, and it's a 1v2 for Vinx. Has
Three
retrieved
kills
the
right there on
spike.
ramps.
Yeah,
All the
it
kills
was a
actually
brawl.
on ramps.
It was a brawl for the ages out on ramps, and now Vinx with a cut of sound is trying to make things work. He's going to cut noise and just wait to see if there's a reaction, maybe a rotate off, find their way onto the site.
It's
Plant
really
would
just
be
some
lovely
environmental
here.
storytelling there in ramps.
Oh, man, beautiful. Wonderful adjustment
up.
from Lumac. That outlaw is something to be reckoned with right there. As I mean, it's a little bit expensive. I know you like to buy into their round number 2s.
I think NIU might have as well. I saw a whole bunch of Buckies, some Stingers on the ground.
Right, I heard some Stingers.
An investment in there.
It was that
they did just have the 2v1 the round before. They got the plant down. It makes sense to try and force it to that. And it looked like it damn near paid off, but not quite enough. Being stuck with the weapon there to close things out. It's just a classic.
Right. So looking towards more of that solid macro game plan. It's a 1-3-1. Exploring mid. The dog already invested. That's going to be one of the key pieces of utility.
Take a look there over in B main. Was pushing up. Now going to fall back. But
it's a big question mark
mid.
For NIU.
They just opting to leave it, though. Grouping up once again towards A, where they had gone the previous 2 rounds. Rifles in hand. Redefy there, just looking to keep the information up, as they got a really good setup. They have early info just about everywhere, and that means they're going to be able to rotate quick into this.
Very quick with the dash out. There's no one to meet it. Lumac sits just adjacent and does get challenged there. Shorty in hand. Draws first blood early, but quickly dropped down to only 20 HP. Dropped by Vinx. And now EMU are going to make a go of things, wrapping around Heaven for another retake, mainly through main. But things are different. They've got Bagel on the deep lines this time, and he will strike when the time is right. 2 players remaining. It's just Redefy with a Sheriff. Alexander doing his damnedest to fight back. The 1v2. Knows one is main, but gets caught with the knife out. Is just going to dash away to save the weapon. So, some good damage done, but it will not be the bonus converted.
Yeah, very good damage, getting them down to 3. Great position, like you saw earlier from Bagel, to cut off that full main retake. I like the idea from EMU. They wanted to give Alexander a little bit more room to work with coming out of main, try to break that crossfire, but the weapons weren't really there, and the backstab was too strong. They did do their due diligence, though. Wolf Knight was later clearing mid while the rest of the team was getting it ready for the retake, but Bagel was just sitting there lying in wait. So, no bonus converted, like you're saying. Money's going to be good for both sides here. Maybe a little bit damaged for NIU. But it's a similar setup for both teams. 1-3-1 into the 1-2-2. Most of the pressure going towards mid.
Maybe actually EMU, worse for wear. It was hard to get an exact pulse on the buy, but that's a Stinger, right? Am I crazy? No, that's a rifle. You can tell by the silhouette. It's a rifle for Redefy. And it's been some unsuccessful mid pressure.
It's tough. When you get the Viper there to just cycle with the Astra to keep the smoke uptime, it's hard to break through. Like I was saying, they don't have that much potent utility to try and break through. It'd be a costly commitment. They just got 2 Sky Flashes, 1 dog, 1 light speed from the Waylay to try and break through. You gotta be very particular, and once again they're just grouping up towards A. They got the Cosmic Divide. Gonna try and send it straight into sight.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're going at a blistering speed, catching out Wolfenite, who tries to get 1 before falling behind the Cosmic Divide. EMU, they're ready, swinging out through Heaven, but Comfy, it's a bit whiffy and met quickly by 9boo. Putting things in a 5v3, and these post-plant positions are exceptional. It's planted for main, they take the timing together, swing out onto Redefy. Gets dropped, and Lumac already postured to save this operator that had been trained on B the whole round and not discovered. So something they're not privy to just yet that will alert them. The wide shot. It's gonna be saved.
When NIU got into that post plant, I was gonna criticize the early use of the interceptor. It may be looking for the flood, but it actually ended up distracting Comfy as he went to swing out. take the
Yeah,
first shots instead of the planter, so it actually worked out quite well.
rather bizarre.
EMU, they're gonna save the op into this. Ideally, I don't believe that Vinx is gonna get to Lumac in time.
It'll be a little close, but it should be safe, completely safe.
Yeah.
Here.
So that's a bit of a saving grace on what was an unfortunate round. They went out the util trades in mid, but then Wolfenite got caught out trying to fight ahead of the exec over on A. Maybe a bit unwise when they could opt to just try and send that retake. But like I was saying, that veto can be troublesome against retakes against the Floods. So maybe just trying to get ahead of it got a little bit too ambitious.
It's just a little bit silly. Some silly decisions, and of course, great stuff to Illinois. Guns out, ready to fight this. Jump peek, Lumac. This is once again and punished by Destroyer. It's going to be an acceleration on to be dashed with the dog. It's a fatal combo. The site completely vacant. Wolfenite once again getting a little antsy. Wants to get some spam done, but ultimately no damage found. This is a tough retake. All right, Interceptor down. It's, of course, weaker weapons. Alexander, the Hero Phantom, saved into this from the previous round. Has the dash, but this crossfire is so deadly. We dash out into backside. Perfect concuss from Redefy as well. Wolfenite, Sheriff sings out. So getting scrappy. Lower numbers, but ultimately still a mountain to climb. The evolution expended. Bagel with that evolution going to charge right into the smoke. Vinx in unison and stop the defuse.
Ult was maybe questionable. Just wanted to get that security. Maybe get the, I don't know, faster spam with the sim in there. No matter though. A decent attempt in that retake. Good coordination there between Redefy and Alexander. But finding that opening pick on what was otherwise an empty site just gave NIU everything they needed for free. Puts them up 3-2. It's been 3 in a row here on the attack side. What we would expect to be weaker, but so far it's been just EMU getting caught out before the site hits.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
and not having the resources, the head count to fight back into it.
It's an aim differential. They've had great ideas into pretty much all of these retakes, but Illinois is one step ahead of the curve. Wolfenite goes exploring and will find first blood for his troubles. And that's
a
nice.
New look.
That's what we need.
That deep map control is also going to funnel them right into Lumac. Although, once again, the shots go wide. He's not able to convert off of it. Redefy is there much quicker, though, this time around.
Oh, gonna eat the flash. Dash out from 9 boot. Hinder barely misses. A quick sidestep from Redefy. Still fighting, but just a moment too long. The Seeker catches up to him. Convergent paths invested with the Nightfall. We're gonna go quick into this one. Dashing right into a sign. It's tragic. 10 HP, 1v2 for Wolfenite, but it's low HP on 9 as well. And so, creeping forward, Fade Eye gets the tag, just barely over the top. Has enough time to push this, and 9 knows it. Goes for the swing, and Wolfenite is too sharp. 4 on the retake for Wolfenite.
That was all Wolfenite all the way, getting the opener, cleaning things up in the retake in that nice 1v2. Kept it close in terms of the HPs, gave him a window into this. They committed the Nightfall there as well, and ended up panning out just fine for them. It definitely got a little dicey. Maybe wanted something clean for your first round win, but you're going to take it no matter what if you're EMU.
Yeah, it's heroic, but at the end of the day, it's something I'd love to see from Wolfenite, one of the players that really struggled to keep up last week against Akron, now at the top of the scoreboard for the whole lobby. And so Viper's Pit out mid. It's going to dissuade any mid pressure that had
with 2 shotguns
been
in there
conditioned.
too.
Oh, it's grimy, isn't it?
But it's just A.
It's just A. All 5 players postured to take this. I mean, doesn't look like there's a whole lot to stop it. Wolfenite sending the dog through. We're going to get some more spam going.
Yeah, the spam did a lot, and they forced out the heal from Destroyer, which slowed them down quite a bit. Gives EMU the rotate in a much better chance at stopping this hit.
And Redefy's repositioned close in A heaven, and their tunnel vision that does get the clear, but ultimately dropped by the judge. It's individual right now from Illinois. They can't seem to find what they really want to do. Convergent paths dash out onto site, met by Wolfenite. Back map in tandem with Alexander, the Guardian. Are those... I must have swung out and then TP'd back into the smoke, leaving Vinx in a impossible 1v5. Just not really sure what they want to be doing in this round. Eventually, they decide to take that gamble, take that investment of the convergent path to try to brute force things onto site. But even then, it's pretty individual from 9bu.
It's tough. I mean, this is a lot more of what I was expecting when looking at the composition. Once they meet that point of resistance, they don't have a ton to be able to fight back into it. Especially when you lose Destroyer, going there up the sky, trying to clear out Heaven, give some more avenues into the site. It ended up getting punished by Redefy, who was able to rotate in thanks to that Viper's Pit mid, thanks to the spam slowing NIU down. They're going to call a timeout off the back of it, try and reassess their game plan after losing these last 2 rounds. The first one was definitely a lot more even. This last one, though, was all EMU.
Right. I think EMU have made some good adjustments themselves. Just, not getting too antsy, knowing that the comp for Illinois can kind of struggle to take space forward once the resources have been depleted. And so it was a war of attrition in A main, eventually resulting in some risks needed to be taken by Illinois that EMU were able to come out on top of. And of course, the Viper Pit not making their lives any easier there, where they'd like to pressure mid in the 1-3-1, wait for the reactions. That was just completely off the table in that one.
Now it's Alexander with the operator, not Lumac this time around, saying, "Get it out of my hands." You take a shot, be main this time.
Yeah.
Has the truer untradeability too, so has better means of escape. But it's actually going to be both of them looking to take control and play off one another, leaving Wolfenite over towards A, which is the empty site. So they've got a great read into this.
Oh. That's some great spam. A dash goes a little bit off kilter. Traded out in some sense by the molly and the spam. Already 9bu inserted into vents.
And Wolfenite, so clear, so quick.
Very fast on the reclear and is able to get the 2 remaining players in the back. It's great reactions from Wolfenite to clean up the round, the anti-eco.
That's so bold. When your teammate dies to a Bucky in vents, I'm not touching that position.
I'm never going.
But Wolfenite, so brave, maybe hearing the fast exit, knowing that there is that bagel got taken up by the molly, was like, I have a window, I'm gonna take it, and has been so crucial for EMU in these last couple rounds. 10-5, top of the scoreboard. A lot more of what we would expect to see from him after those first couple of weeks. The setup remains similar, just swapping Redefy out with Alexander in mid to take a fight.
Oh, very nice double spam. Gonna get ahead of things. On top of the mid fight, Evolution invested once more. But I mean, this presence just hasn't been working out. It's very tough to get through. Comfy's been so good. The sky is down. The hinder as well. Wouldn't have affected, but Alexander, good for one. Trade on top. They have to go swinging through the snake bite. And just like that, another 1vx for Vinx. It was probably, I think, going to be looking to save the gun into this. Maybe see what damage we can get done.
A little more winnable than the last one. Isolated 2 players here, but
I mean, sure.
It's going to be tough with the smoke in the way. I mean, there's not really an opening into this. It's once again a story of not having the util to break through. They just had to dry fight through that smoke. Here we go. Finds the first onto Comfy. Gives them a much better shot into things.
Spike is so deep.
It just gives the cue for the rest of EMU to rotate into mid. So it went from a 2v1 here in middle to a 1v3.
Yeah, they're looking to hunt. They're going forward with the dog, with the C's, walking up onto the angle. If I had to guess, I'd say their money is in a lot better of a position than Illinois. It's hard. This Astra Viper really, really excels at holding on to middle with the mollies, you can cycle the smokes, the poison clouds up. It's really hard, if not impossible, to force through unless you've got something like we've seen some teams go for it. Even EMU in the past, the waylay dash, the fade eye flash into vents, but they don't have the utility for that. They can send it with a flash, but
you could set it with like a flash waylay dash, but without the like fade eye or something to draw the crosshair, it's a lot less effective. I think the other aspect is that they're immediately, just to some spam getting spot out by the early peak from Alexander, meant they lost Destroyer immediately. And even with the evolution, which could be a great way to push through like the Viper Molly and stuff, without the Sky Flash, you're just going into the crosshair.
Yeah, they're taking the early fights here in mid, getting the utility out, some spam, some light damage to make things a little bit easier once they work their way up. The trip, the snare, thrown into vents. There's a start. Smoked off. It's something Comfy has to play around, or, you know, maybe just shoot out like that.
Yeah, without that pressure, it doesn't get the same value. You need something else to distract, to be a point of tension. Now the rest of NIU, they're all headed towards B main, with just Mamba in sewers as that late lurk. Lumac by himself on the site has the gate crash to get out.
Yeah, it's a fresh one too. Didn't even throw a teleport early into the round because, I mean, he really hasn't been pressured or tested, and so he's feeling really great, sending him back of sight. Cosmic Divide's gonna go out, try to get a quick plant down. Dash on. Lumac is stunned up and sticks around. Redefy swings through, gets 2 before traded out, bringing things to a 3v3. Some gun upgrades for Northern Illinois and a backstab, a critical one, literally, for Mamba, who strikes through, bringing things to a 2v2 after Comfy trades it out. Wolfenite, it's a little bit lazy, into the smoke. 1v2 for Comfy, and is very quick on the adjustment into main. It's a costly eco, but another round string together for EMU.
It brings them to 5 in a row in what, after Lumac overstaying his welcome on site, sitting through that Nova Pulse, not taking the gate crash out, loses his life. Redefy makes the most of it, getting 2 before getting traded. But yeah, even with this late lurk and that literal backstab, like, as you were saying, it just wasn't enough.
And they still come out on top. It's fascinating. It's brilliant gameplay from EMU. Wolfenite being very great on the retakes and Comfy. Rock solid as ever. It's a different look at things. 3 postured towards A, looking to take control with a dash and a flash up towards ramps, but quickly refracts back. Not safe at all to stay. And just like that, it's a flash and the dash and the refract expended. We have to dog to reclear.
Trailblazer use 2 means they just have the Sky Flash left to try and break into whatever space they choose to take. And just taking a dry fight's not going to work out when Alexander's trained on your position.
Redefy is advanced up in mid, so not going to be able to take a crack over there either. Spike recuperates towards B main, as it is the weaker site. Lumac getting a fresh TP online to meet the hit, and just caught out by Vinx. Once again, that seems to be a win condition, but they're not going to take the sight off of it. There's no acceleration. Not trusting what they see, and it's because Mamba's walked all the way through A.
Managed to find a timing, not even with the Viper wall. After just putting it up for a second, Alexander switches to the right side, and he just manages to slip through the cracks as Wolfenite is rotating out. I don't think they're going to be aware of this possible position.
But it's a matter of how much value we can get. Mamba strikes for the first, and the pit in CT means the retake is probably going to have to be out through heaven. Of course, the site isn't even gained just yet. Redefy fighting, sticking around Alexander through the smoke. Convergent Pass invested as well. Why not? It's a 2v2 in low time. There's nowhere to plant in the pit either. Just maybe barely on the edge there. It's going to be a matter of timings, matter of sense, matter of feel. Alexander creeps up. Operator, not what you want, but has the shorty to jump into. Comfy second guessing the use of the pit. Maybe a bit of spam can get what we need. 9bu swing out in a critical moment. Put things in an unfavorable 1v2 for Alexander. Tap a spike, goes in with the shorty, spammed out by Mamba, is privy to the push. That's another round. What is that, the 4th round for NIU?
Mamba, the absolute hero there, finding the gap in the A setup after losing Destroyer to Alexander, and then gets the pick onto Wolfenite, puts the pit down, and it was just impossible to break into. Alexander just keeping the op in hand made it really hard to find any pick, even sending the convergent paths without any ability to follow up on it. Just try to delay the plant or something, but there's no spam to be met there. So EMU have already won the half, but they could try to go for 8 here. But Lumac, once again, by himself on B side, has been picked off a number of times here before.
I think 8 would be just exceptional. NYU have a great defense comp themselves, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. A main control for EMU, and they will drop the lurk. Mamba goes down, and there's now no backup options. The pit stays plumed in mid. The 4 players, once again, it seems like might be losing that war of attrition. We're gonna re-clear over towards mid, try to make a go of things. We still have some utility online, convergent paths as well if you need to force through.
Looks like they weren't even aware of the pit
yet. It does look like they didn't even know about the pit, and perhaps it's going to throw a wrench into the side of the plan. Forced to walk back over towards A. Spike, once again, not really sure where it's going to go just yet. Convergent paths. It's lined up. It's ready to punish the pit. Catches out 2 players. Dashing on into this, but the Bucky is brutal. 1 HP for Comfy, but just so hard to trade out, especially Redefy in tandem. And perfect harmony. Thanks to dropping Lumac once again, but does not seem like it will make very much of a difference. And so 8 rounds on the defense for EMU. We're going to switch things over where you're hoping that Illinois will have a much better sense of things, much better read on the game in their defense.
A great half. Comfy survived so long in his pit being just 1 HP from the spam, but NIU had no way of knowing his HP was that low. They tried to commit into it, got caught out by the Bucky, and it's been a very, very solid defense half for EMU. Now on, I think each comp's favored side means it's hard to say where this is going to go. When you look at how things got scrappy in the first half, it was always in EMU's favor. So you'd have to imagine that given the more even nature of these 2 comps on these respective sides, it's probably going to go in EMU's favor unless NIU can really leverage the advantages of that Sentinel in the slot for Bagel.
Right. I'd take an argument, say that this is certainly more favored for NYU comp-wise than it is for EMU. I think Lumac has remained pretty quiet. Need to see get active, get the trades going here on the attack if we're to convert the map. It's a slow walk, contact, push up, Destroyer on the jump spot. Catches a whiff of what might be going on here. Right beneath their noses, it's individual from Comfy swinging out and traded out by Alexander. Meanwhile, 9 and Destroyer fighting on the side, low HP, the crossfire. Too much to handle. A 2v2 post plant for EMU.
And 3 stars now to play with. Gives Redefy a lot of utility, but it looks like they're just going to try to take this fight. It's going to be 2v2 screens.
Right, dashing in, and there's no refract to be seen. Redefy is good for it, but Vinx, so solid in all these moments, delivering the kills, often the last one standing. But in this round, it's a much more doable 1 versus 1, and a critical pistol obtained for NYU to get back into this map.
An absolutely massive one. Gives them a window, an opening into this. Now, 8 to 5, much more salvageable when you look at it. It wasn't even that Senti util coming into play. Bagel's over towards mid. It was just the gunfights, the team playing together in both heaven and on site. I mean, we a little uncoordinated in how they pinched the site there from EMU. Got punished for it.
It's a crazy dash, no?
A crazy dash. I don't hate the idea. I mean, they got the first trade. The other position, though, not quite able to be seen from Redefy. So a little bit questionable. But this time, here we go. Now we see Bagel with util on the site that it looks like EMU are going to be poised to hit, with the exception of Lumac on the B side of the map, as we've often seen him this time offensively, trying to sell some kind of fake.
Right, flash TP out
gets
could be
by the Trailblazer.
Oh yeah, at the very last moment, so they don't even have to re-clear back site here. That should be the jig up. Tripwire dropped, dash in. We're going to go super late. Refracts out in the nick of time with just 1 health point. Trained up by Comfy, been very good with the Bandit as far as eco kills have been going with the sidearm. Turn to the flash and a teleport out for Lumac. We're in a 3 versus 3 all of a sudden. Things are not very comfortable. Wolfenite catches Destroyer in the back. And it's a great plant as well for Heaven. And all of a sudden, a very difficult retake for Nineboo, who's at this point left completely alone and refracts right back into Redefy. That's ridiculous. How do things get so out of hand?
I have to agree. I mean, Bagel was left alone on A, trusting in the Senti-Util. Unfortunately, Vito doesn't necessarily have the best stall, the best anchoring capabilities, and when he's left alone, had to give up so much space, which gave a lot for EMU to work with. And I think, once again, I want to shout out the boldness of Wolfenite. After Lumac TP's out, he sees the window, he sees the crack in the armor, and just goes for that walk up into Heaven, catches Destroyer unsuspecting.
Absolutely zero fear from Wolfenite. That's something we absolutely love to see, something we need to see going into playoffs. Big swing round converted gives EMU the upper hand, and it's got to feel brutal for Illinois.
A slower start of round, maybe expecting some eco shenanigans from NIU. Stopped them to take some mid control, and there's not too much of a fight for it. They've waited out this poison cloud to try and give themselves an opening. Let's see if they choose to take it further.
Right, clone, we should be wise to it. Flash, they do want to take things further here into mid. Dog catching on to Heaven, but doesn't catch the Bucky close. Luckily, a redirection to vents is exactly what EMU needed. They've got some players to meet them here. Walking into a potential crossfire they're not aware of.
Chokehold taken out, and it's Alexander just selling this fake, and it's worked perfectly. All 5 members of NIU have rotated over, and it's a mad dash back to B site to try and interrupt this plant for EMU.
They're going to try to flood out, take the fights together, triple swing into Heaven. Alexander is good for it, and just actually going to fall off. Redefy tries to get involved, save the teammate, but Alexander needs no saving. Dropped in mid. As a matter of fact, we're in a very familiar 3v3 right now. Refract still online, so Nineboo will be able to jump out pretty much risk-free. Phantom in the hands of Mamba. Striking. Coiled in Heaven. Dropping things, Nineboo. It's a good first kill, but now 1v3 after some nice shots from Wolfenite. It'll be hard to defuse this one. Tries to take the fight right to him. Gets the first kill, but time has already expired. Regardless, it is really great damage for NYU into this round, hoping to, maybe stop the bleeding, sort of acting like a tourniquet, you could say.
Yeah, it's some sort of makeshift means. I want to just say the spike was not really planted for EMU, but it seemed like NIU weren't even aware of the position. Wasn't able to put that pressure on by tapping the spike.
Where that? That's
so caught off guard.
Bizarre plan, but I didn't even see either. I mean, it's when do you
honestly,
see the spike there?
I didn't catch it until Nineboo went through the Astra smoke and the spike wasn't there.
Yeah,
I was a bit confused. Nice anti-eco converted from EMU as we have another unfortunate pause. The thing I'm noticing from the side of NIU is the way they have this veto util set up. It's just been previously it was just like the chokehold overlapped with the interceptor in A main, then they separated it out, but left the interceptor on the site that was being like unguarded. They were trying to leave him as the weak side, but when you have the interceptor up and there's no one behind it, you don't really get much value. They could just shoot it down. This time we're seeing it shift over to the B site where there is Vinx nearby to help the anchoring, so it could be a lot more troublesome for EMU to have to break through, should that be the site they're choosing to go, which, based on the location of the spike in Redefy's hand, that seems where it's going to be.
I would have to imagine that Bagel's standing in just the right spot where Saturate is going to end up.
It's procced a little early though.
A little spam war, yeah.
After they take out the chokehold for EMU, and then immediately Interceptor gets popped. Now that is a non-factor. They're going to hear that too, and use that time to put pressure elsewhere across the map. NIU not really biting. They have 3 people strong side at A, but it's still B as the target site for EMU.
Right, looking to split into B, at least at a glance. They'll work their way up. Mamba is in vents, ready to cut off the rotate, or excuse me, Comfy, and Wolfenite draws first blood onto Bagel. Just getting shot, not really having a chance to TP out as a result of that. The bomb will go down without a problem.
Face your fear.
Heaven control. Did they see that? Yes, they did. Okay, Comfy still gets the best of it. And it's going to force these players to, I think they'd like to save, but just running through the snake bite, ultimately falling to the spit as well. They made it look easy that round.
They really did. I mean, after baiting out the Interceptor, they were very wise to not go to the other side of the map, expecting the maybe rotates to come in. They just say, okay, we're going to go to this site. It's weak. We know that you've used your Senti util, so what have you got to stop us? And with the Cosmic Divide there, they played around it so well. Very disciplined. Wolfenite throwing the C's at one point behind that Cosmic Divide wall just to ensure there was no one there. This time, NIU grouped up towards mid, wants to really fight for this control on their eco round, try and stop EMU from getting to map point. But EMU not fighting too aggressively into it. We've seen them play these eco rounds, anti-eco rounds rather, very, very disciplined.
Very safe. Flash for information. Presence noted in B main. Ultimately, no space gained. Clone set up, maybe trying to a fake onto the B side. Vinx gets a timing through the smoke and just lines up 2 relatively easy kills. An early 3 versus 4 before the bomb goes down, and that should have given up the game. The full info gained through B main. They've got nowhere else to be but A.
But Wolfenite wasn't really close enough to immediately get the spike down, and that's actually creating some question marks for NIU. They're not certain that A is the target. Now the smokes should give up the game, but it's going to guarantee a post plant unless Alexander, or Redefy rather, gets a little bit crazy. He tries to make a push to try and even out the numbers, and it backfires. Now 2 versus 4.
Wolfenite steps up to the plate. It's his turn now. Take the risk, and some dodgy shots and otherwise brilliant movement from Bagel. And the spam noted in the smoke. Eco round converted. NIU are still in this game.
Very much so. That gives them a nice chance to fight back into this, stopping them before EMU can get to map point. Some nice sheriff shots, some wiggly movement in both just with the literal avoiding of the shots and Vinx getting a nice timing on the double duelist faking towards B.
Oh, don't have to replay this in slow motion. And the bullets just going left and right of the head as well.
It was like a little dance there from Bagel.
It was great. It was beautiful. Absolutely.
I'm not sure what the buy is looking like for EMU this round. They still got enough money. They're winning 3 in a row. They got plenty to work with. But NIU now has a really nice chance to string some rounds together. Once again, it's Bagel, though, left alone, weak-sided with his own utility, but just gets the spam to open things up, take out one of the duelists, but they've still got Lumac, who's not with the rest of the team, just lurking up mid instead. It could be an interesting round to see how EMU try to play this one out.
I mean, this is the point where you're going to try to take the risks. Wait, maybe might have spotted the gun barrel, the dog, to re-clear. Only clears Lumac on the right. They don't know about Wolfenite on the left. Regardless, Snakebite invested to trade out for a TP. Comfy is on the A site and drops the pit as well. And they think the call is to call the team back, but instead EMU are just going to walk on to B. But full information gained. This is a tricky round with Mamba. Oh my goodness, got timing onto the back site. Comfy is still in an awkward spot, but at this point, spike planted, and it's individual Vinx catches a great timing. They got no smokes as well.
Oh,
None as up as 1 HP on Comfy. Things are just getting so weird. Cosmic Divide suck off the plant, the defuse, but Destroyer catches Redefy on the walk up. That round had me all sorts of confused.
it was a strange one. The fake on A sold it for a bit, but then when the plant never came out, when Mamba took the space A main, it just meant that they got to maintain their positions around the B site, got to take off those picks one by one, while Comfy was dealt with. Meaning,
Yeah.
another round for NIU, another chance to build up some momentum, what they're going to need if they want to turn this map around.
I'm really questioning. I'm looking back. There was a Astra Smoke Heaven, but nothing for Spawn, which gave the opportunity for the swing out.
Yeah.
Maybe small things
could
that
have
are-
nearly got the second.
Yeah,
They
right?
didn't
They
see the
seem to
lineup.
line up. Pretty crazy. Mamba immediately dropping the pit into mid to reinforce that critical lane. Shouldn't use mail, but with repositions, I mean, it's hard to say what's going on.
Okay.
Skydog, in the meantime, clears a main. At the same time, the orb is collected.
This is a curious set of trades of map positioning without really too much changing. It's still Bagel just on that B site, holding it down by himself with another teleport out, should he choose to take it. Things have just kind of been reset to a very neutral position. But of course, with that Viper's Pit in mid, it really limits the options. That's why you see 3 members of NIU stacked on the A site. Heaven, it would be the weak spot, just Destroyer up there. Not a whole lot to anchor with.
I mean, this is a great read, though, for Illinois. I think after presence shown B main and the dog clearing A main, still 3 strong on A this whole time for a minute now. The Flash doesn't see anything, and yet they stand their ground. Caught out maybe a little bit wide. Dashing in, conversion pass expended. The ult will go down before Alexander's drop, and the trade is there as well. A strange dash out, but Lumac is ready to meet the challenge. Comfy swinging out into heaven. Bagel not ready to be caught out in such a spot. And Mamba with the walk can't get the jump. It's going to give EMU map point on map number 1.
I said, despite the 3 stack on A, Heaven was the weakness, just the sky up there, and the barely missed info with the guiding light meant that he was not prepared to put up the fight against EMU, got gunned down, and now, like you're saying, map point, 12 rounds for EMU. They just need one more to close, and they've been very successful in this attack half so far. They've been playing it nice and slow. Despite the double duelist nature, they still have a lot of utility to work with between the Astra and the Fade. And of course, just the double duelist. They get to really work the map.
Solo anchor on A. Evolution proc will be able to stand his ground planted on the site, but that's not where the hit is at all. That's not where the pressure is. Dimensional drift up through mid, spots 2, spots a third, just jumps out with the shorty, but it's ill-advised. 9boo up in rafters with Vinx on the site, puts things to a stop, a screeching halt. We might just have to save onto this is what I would say, but Comfy gets a pick, some quick taps, some damage onto Zinx as well. Potential for a kill, but instead we'll take the HP. Comfy on the lurk up. It's gonna catches Destroyer, who's just turned. They want to re-clear B main here, or at least get that early info, dash out, and refrag, swing onto it, but oh my goodness, Alexander's good for 2. And now Bagel has to do it all. This was a 2v5.
Was Bagel the A anchor, has the evolution online, but not going to get too much value out of it. Most of the util has already been expended. It's just going to be a raw 2 versus 1. Has a chance to isolate some fights here, though, based on the position. Alexander up towards Pillar, Comfy aware of a potential flank, but it's not going to come to fruition.
Right, clearing everything out. That backside is going to be critical clear. A threat looming, and Alexander, good on the jiggle, takes a beautiful timing to close up map number 1. A 2v5 to end things.
I was praising the slow play, the methodical map control being taken from EMU in how they were winning their previous attack rounds. Then they go in and they hit fast and it doesn't work out. And then they slow it down and manage to somehow, in just a 2v5, find the smallest gaps, the thinnest of margins to take it all the way. You give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. That's why they've done so well in this split so far. Third seed looking to maintain that, maybe even get a cheeky second, depending on how the Akron games goes. But great stuff to close out map number 1, their pick here, before we move on to Corrode coming up.
Yeah,
it's great stuff. Comfy on top, 25-12.
Very nice showing over to KD. It's sink or swim for Northern Illinois. They've got next map to work with. It will be their map pick of Corrode, so hopefully we'll get a little bit more comfortable trying to put up a fight. We'll be back in just a few minutes with map number 2. We're back. Welcome back for map number 2. We're heading into Corrode after a dominant showing on Split from EMU. Some players getting active and aggressive on the map number 1. I'm looking at Wolf Knight. I'm looking at Comfy. Really good in that first map to draw things to a 13-7 conclusion. Now we head over to Corrode. Northern Illinois' map pick, their chance to fight back control and seize their own destiny in playoffs, as opposed to map loss here would mean things are down to a 4-way tiebreaker, which could get ugly, could get messy.
I mean, yeah, that's tough. You really want to you would love to get the win here, at least get this map pick, because if it's the 4-way tie, like you're saying, that's going to go to map differential before it gets to go to head-to-head. So it can be really tough. We're seeing the veto come out, very similar comp that we saw in Split, just with a couple agent swaps within the roles. We still see the veto from Bagel, which, starting on the attack side again, I believe we'll have to see what value that brings out. But it's similar sites for the sides of EMU. We've seen their comp a couple times. Originally, they had the fade from Wolf Knight, now on the Sova, that pure NRG comp. So we'll see how this pans out, this matchup into each other.
Don't they play, doesn't Energy play Teo? Or am I...
On Corrode? No.
Yeah.
No.
They play KO?
Yes. Ethan plays KO. That's like his
yeah,
thing.
my bad.
Yeah,
No,
they play the Teo on Pearl and an Abyss.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, like you said, world champion comp for EMU. Seeing if they can have it live up to its potential. We've seen it before. They look pretty great on pretty much every map that they've played, and this is no exception. I'm curious about this veto. This is a good veto map, I think.
Is it? I'd agree. I think this is a very good veto map. I think it's tough though on the attack side. I mean, Corrode is infamously one of the most defense side, one of the maps we have in the game. One of two ones that are like statistically favor the defense alongside Ascent. And starting on the offense, it's going to be a bit of a struggle, but of course, no Senti from EMU means they're going to have to just fight for space, like we're going to see right here in A main at the start.
Three players walk up, step up to the plate, pop blast through the smoke. Mamba in the back, completely undetected, but eventually Rifai does find the kill. 9bu fast through mid, but with full A main control, they're going to have to take something a little bit more aggressively.
We almost saw EMU try to go back into yard, but instead, off of hearing NIU taking that space through mid, they just opt to hold the main space. Now it's a bit of a crunch in this 4 versus 3 for EMU. The position's slightly in their favor, but they're going to have to take these fights.
Yeah, we're going to need some heroics in these post-plant positions. Things going late. It's to draw first contact. And 9bu swinging out off of the contact of Destroyer. That's 2 quick ones. Man advantage gained. And damn, just crisp onto it. Comfy in the 1v2. Gets 2 for his troubles. But eventually the trades are good. It's heroics from 9bu. Like we said, we needed to convert the attacking pistol. A big win for Northern Illinois.
Yeah, a slight miss on the paranoia, and then just some whiffs coming out from either side of that A main push. I thought it was going to be trickier with the crunch coming in, but with the forward spots from all three members of NIU, basically, they didn't even have to worry about Comfy and Wolfenite until Redefy and Alexander were already dealt with. So nice pistol round. Let's hope that they don't have to run into the issues they had last time in terms of the losing the anti-eco, but it's going to have to be a tech pause, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Similar sites to map 1.
I mean, I believe I can talk about this, that Northern Illinois, the school is on break right now, so they aren't using the facilities, the 5 players playing at home. That in a sense makes it stranger to me that all 5 disconnected on the first map. But regardless, maybe some issues are to be anticipated. I like this flex. Did I tell you my flex idea about the lizard?
No. Oh, I think
sure?
you did, but please share with the audience.
A little like salamander gecko thing. It crawls up your arm and around your hand, and he's very smiley, and he like licks his eyes or whatever they do. And then you inspect and you give it a little squeeze, and it screams really loud. Now, saying this out loud on broadcast might be some sort of animal abuse difficulties.
No,
and
it's
so
a game.
I mean, it's a love squeeze. If any, you give him a hug with your what you pet him, and he goes and he's like, nah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I liked. First of all, great impression, great sound. That was I could really visualize it. Second of all, it's kind of similar to the Elder Flame Frenzy, the way like that kind of crawls.
That's what I'm thinking.
And but having it as his own flex, actually, I love the idea.
Thank you.
So, Riot Games, if you're listening, maybe,
people would love it. I think that's the bottom line. People would love it. Gamble stack for EMU on the eco. They've chosen the right site to do it. Comfy fighting forward, hoping to give the impression that they're getting early info and are perhaps stacked elsewhere.
Yeah, I like that idea. Like you're saying, Comfy trying to sell something a little bit differently, but they were actually just trying to get the Veto to take that early map control before heading all the way over towards the A site. And there's nothing there to meet them, which means EMU have a decision to make. Do they try to do some damage, or do they try to just play for exits? Given that they gambled the wrong site, one would imagine they just try to play for the exits, not give up the ult orbs, not let NIU turn this into any kind of snowball. Moving slowly, inching towards. Let's see what they try to make of this.
I'd argue that all 5 ults for NIU are pretty good, especially on this map. I mean, even the Omen TP isn't that bad. The map's so big, it can give you a quick turnaround. So it seems they sense it as well, making the decision just to die to the spike, not give anything up, not let that attack side snowball. Mama goes hunting with the ghost and gets a couple opportunities, but dropped before everyone goes down to the spike. And so it's just a gamble not working out on that round.
And then we got to see the first implementation of, I think, what their game plan is with the Veto, where they take that initial control of one of the mains, they try to lay out the interceptor to deny the fight, and then they place the chokehold just to have that forward map presence. I think it's a very powerful ability in that respect compared to something like a trapwire or like even an alarm bot, where if EMU like go to re-clear that later in the round and there's someone still there waiting, it gives them a much more favorable engagement with that tether, with that decay. But this time, the 0 point from Lumax going to shut down that attempt, leaving things a little bit more ambiguous for NIU.
Notable lack of a gun for 2 players, 1 player on either side. Redefy. Wait, excuse me. Some HUD errors had me in disbelief, put my guard down, but Redefy sharp as ever with the rifle. Taking contact off the dash onto 9boo. And a reframing towards B. Snakebite is there. It's ample stall. Teleport in. Trying to make some space. A lot on Vinx, but gives ample time for the rotates to come through. Even more time to clear mid as well. We're just fighting back into it. The advice from Lumac, no util, no one else either on the back of that. Maybe felt trapped, had to make a move. Regardless, fighting into it, Redefy gets a cheeky one. Reposition, Comfy here to absorb the pressure, but Vinx so good for it. Reliable, if anything. Tonight, antsy to this. It's just 1-by-1 flooding, jumping back onto the side. Alexander with the shorty, and now it's all of a sudden all on to Bagel. It's Bagel. He's got absolutely everything to do. 1v3, but no. Alexander says he'll do it himself. He jumps out with the shorty to open up the retake and closes it by his own volition. Good attempt, but first round on the board. Defuse coming through.
Yeah, the first round, but it was a really costly one. I thought it was going to be worse. Luminac maybe giving up the fight on site a little too early, a little ahead of the rest of his squad. Then Redefy with a big pick into mid. It gives them a lot more to work with as they manage to just flood into site, take out the 1v1s. But the money, not at all in EMU's favor. 2 rifles available, but the economy is low. Likewise, I think it says Bagel and Redefy both have classics, but I do believe that is an error of the overlay.
Yeah, I think just theirs are.
Phantom for Bagel.
I think just theirs are bugged right now. The Ares gets dropped from Wolfenite. An early first blood for Vinx, and we're fighting into mid. We swing wider with the Stinger to try to get the drop, but too good, too solid is Naibu. Comfy goes exploring, trying to wrangle back control, giving into the round. Draws out a lot of utility, drops a player, and is sticking around for more. Caught out by the Saturate, forced to stand his ground. The swing is really
I like
nice
that idea, but it didn't pan out because of that Saturate paying a lot of respect. Now Alexander trying to get a pick of his own. Not meant to be. Redefy now left. Just that Guardian in the 1v4. I doubt try to move too much into this unless he can isolate a 1v1 engagement. Not looking like NIU are going to give him any wiggle room into this.
He's not even going back to a rifle, just keeping the Guardian.
No, it's tough. I know they lost one of the rifles in main, the other one I think just in the B connector, so hard to retrieve.
It would be a risk.
Definitely.
It would be a risk.
Of course, the eco was not in the favor of EMU, so they got a little ambitious, but that's the second time we've seen Lumac kind of trying to make a play without any util behind it and getting caught out for it. The circumstances were definitely more understandable than the round previous, but something maybe to keep an eye on. We know him as this duelist player turned support, and maybe we're seeing a little bit of that come out when he's on the KO here. Still self-sufficient in many ways, but not the same as like a Yoru.
Yeah, it's been a couple shaky signs already. Definitely something you want to keep your eye on going forward. Comfy makes a great go of things, but is stopped in his tracks quite literally by the utility. So EMU, it's a great start for Northern Illinois on the attack of this defense-favored map. They're looking great on this map pick. Aggressive as ever. Pacey trying to inject some tempo into the game. It's the lesser weapons for EMU. Only goes to fight back to anchor that. But Redefy with the Guardian, save from last round, in hand, not expecting a player in that corner. Pagel is ready for it as well. Knows that risks are going to be taken.
Yeah, that's something really good about the NIU comp going against the EMU, is that EMU, without any passive info, they got to be making some plays in the mid round to maintain info when NIU go quiet like that. Meanwhile, with the double controller, with the veto, NIU are more than comfortable to just sit there and let the fight come to them. Compositions match up pretty nicely for NIU. And so far, we're seeing it pan out. Not necessarily with just that veto in terms of his ability to deny like pushes, but just how they're playing it nice and slowly, utilizing the gaps that EMU's comps can offer in terms of the information.
30 seconds left.
Indeed. Time starting to become maybe not an issue, but something that will drive them forward. The motivating force, the Bucky of hopes and dreams, stops them in their tracks, seized up, Destroyer. Good for the trade, but they're not ready for the other player. Wolfenite Gets 2, put things in a very winnable 2v2.
Very
Time is
winnable.
low. And so Lumac will try to take advantage of it, isolating one player.
Enemy remaining.
And Comfy in the meantime. Good for the crossfire. Bagel has to do it all. 1v2. Reloads at an inopportune moment out in the open, and Lumac takes full advantage. An eco round to stop the bleeding, give EMU a foot into the early game.
I was complimenting the slow play from NIU, but it actually really came back to bite them that round. The bait setup with Alexander Wolfenite was perfect. Alexander knows that, like, if he just tries to play a corner with that Bucky, they're gonna just keep clearing. But when he's playing forward like that, he really puts the pressure on, manages to get 2 for his troubles too. I mean, that's a tough angle to have to fight into. And then unsuspecting of Wolfenite with the classic manages to get 2. Just a great go of things there for EMU. Gets them their second round. Makes the money a little bit more questionable for NIU. They've still got enough to play for into this round. It's the next where things maybe become a little bit dicey.
Right, some key
Ults online
ultimates.
for both sides, yeah.
9-boot posture. They want to go fast. They want to make things happen. Redefy on the off angle. A little bit of verticality injected into the setup. The paranoia whiffs, and 9-boot trades it out. 3v3 after some kills back in yard. Lumac fighting for back sight. That is the Lumac we know. That's the Lumac we love to see. Okay, taking the aggression as well. Pop flash through, but no need to push. Not with the drone. Take a second to reload. Comfy. Finds the trade. Puts Vinx in a 1v2. Vinx, who's been the thorn in Lumac's side this whole series, has been given an opportunity. A full minute on the clock to work with. Farming his way out of elbow. Ult online as well. You're right. They won't be able to stop it. And Vinx decides to
run
go
B.
quiet.
He could play it quietly here and try to fake it, but Wolfenite's going exploring and gonna take him out. Not giving him a chance to use that. No mind games to be had. Just some raw gunfights to get EMU a 3rd round on the board, 2nd in a row, and put the money in a much worse spot for NIU.
It's well played. I love the re-exploration from Wolfenite. I mean, you have to kind of, the assumption that has to be made is that he's running B, which is why Vinx sticks around to try to get the upper hand, but that re-clear makes things a hell of a lot easier deciding the round. 3-3. EMU, they found their footing, force Illinois down onto an eco. And Alexander getting a little bit angsty, taking that forward position, willing to take the fights by himself. Very confident against the eco weaponry.
And some forward map control in mid as well. EMU just shutting down a lot of attempts here for NIU to take the space. B main, though, is fully NIU's control. And no rotates have happened, despite the early info in mid and on A.
I was just thinking.
Wolfenite sticking around. Redefy sticking around. Lumac not even flooding into B to try and support that. Perhaps confident in their retakes, perhaps just a read that things are going to be slowed down for NIU and they're going to explode the rest of the map. And that's exactly what's happening.
It's giving Sentinels. Lumac pops through mid. Trades out the kill. Onto Bagel. Comfy. Has stall potential here. Molly still in hand. Still intact. Good timing with the toxic screen as well.
Well, Wolfenite's position here just doesn't do really anything for them.
He's just
and
chilling.
So now it's just Comfy by himself on B and gives a gap. Mamba now walking all the way up. It's just a hard read from EMU that is in the wrong location. Knifeful coming out onto B just to get Comfy in the back. And now the eco weapons have a much better chance here. They're going to keep fighting.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is a great sight for the post plan. And, of course, Mamba, we're looking at that strike in the back. How's he going to play it over towards mid? We're looking a little bit. Droning. However, the forward positions, they're fighting up into this. Mamba finds the pick he needs and survives as well. Convergent paths invested. And 9-Boo just drops, has nothing to say about it. Nothing you really can do. Comfy swinging out with some confidence on the back of the convergent paths, maintaining that position up top and will diff the opposing Viper on the way back in.
We were talking about the reasoning for EMU giving up their positions just staying towards A, and I think the game plan was just all about that convergent pass. They were confident in their ability to retake B with that. I mean, that makes sense with the double initiator, especially with the pick onto the veto. Means they're not going to have a ton to stop the utility from flooding in, and it was ended up panning out just fine for them. Great retake with those three, and another round for EMU. It got a little bit questionable, but they handled it very cleanly.
Things definitely not secure. I think it's a great decision from Alexander or whomever made the call to invest the ultimate. Keep things clean, keep things doable. And so Viper's Pit, Mamba early kill onto Alexander. Goes for the same pick in A main as he did the last time. Just a little bit more ready for it from the attackers. All of a sudden, Redefy has to step up to the plate, but can't get anything done. 3v5, Wolfenite has a lot to do, a lot going to be asked, seized up and blinded, just nothing else to do but die there. Lumac tries to be a hero, we have the money to go for it, gets the first pick. But with 4 members still alive, and Comfy is so far away, it's going to be Lumac who has to maybe try to take out another while this is all going on. Spotted on the left. It's a tough position to be in. Has to go aggressive, and Bagel is ready for it. Low HP on Comfy, spammed up, going out with the classic, wide as ever, and buys enough time for Destroyer to come in with the trade. Very, very clean round.
Yeah, I mean, after NIU got the opening pick, the rest it just felt like EMU trying to like salvage it in some way, which maybe not the most necessary depending on how they play to anchor that A site. Redefy gets caught out, of course, by the light speed and the refract. So it was tough. Lumac tried his best to fight back into this. Comfy too, but it just wasn't enough after losing that opening pick. Keeping things even here, 4-4. EMU looking to try things a little bit differently this round. Fight into mid, but NIU is doing the same. 3 members fighting in bottom mid. Looking to find the engagement. Nothing yet.
Exchange, util exchange, but no information. Just kind of a stalemate. Lumac peeks out to draw first blood. And EMU are not willing to concede. They still stay forward. Alexander is in a great spot for that mid control. Gonna get early info should they choose to come back, but we can see that they've accelerated into yard. Paranoia just to stall things out. Smoke as well. It's a difficult choke to get through, but the Paranoia comes through, gives them a chance, and they're just not ready for it at all. Mamba completely alone on the site as well. Difficult crossfire to try to break. The smoke fades, dissipates at an unfortunate timing for Lumac. All of a sudden, the picks are coming back for NIU.
Lumac caught out there. Once again, trying to force an engagement when the numbers were even. Now it's a 3v4, or 3v3 rather, for EMU. Make that a 2v3. Comfy
great pause as well.
Managed to come over.
Time is kind of low, but it's not that low. Give them a chance to just chill, relax into things. Vinx for 3 on the round. Dependable, Comfy. They're not alert to this spot, but has to go rather deep. Gets the teleport. Oh, just barely. Behind the box, in time. Quick taps from Comfy. Low HP, swings out, but no! Tries to get a different weapon. Perhaps with some more ammunition, and it is that forward placement from Mamba to secure the round. It's a tricky 1v1, but he navigates it with ease. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Destroyer there in the end.
Right, Destroyer.
To close it out. Yeah, I mean, that round really comes down, in my opinion, to that slight over peak from Lumac wanting to fight, wanting to close things out. But the timing just not working out in his favor with that smoke. Now 5 rounds. NIU doing a great job in this attack half. The one we don't expect them to be favored in. And EMU on this eco round, making a play towards B. It's a gamble stack this time, but one where they're looking to take map control and not just hold the site.
Push through B. Wolfenite has to fight all on his own and caught out in the open in mid. No trade in sight either, but it's some great map control for EMU. Just hoping it can make a difference. Nightfall expended. Will meet no one. The site is vacant. It's theirs for the taking. I mean, they have to know. Yeah, they know it's A at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Speeding up on the flank.
The flank coming in, 2 ults committed in this anti-eco is pretty impactful for EMU. Like, they didn't really
Makes
have to do
sense.
anything to force those out. A lot of discipline being played. They don't want to give any way into this. Bagel, though, maybe getting a little antsy, trying to hold the site, and it's the triple flank coming in. Gonna take contact, but Naibu is good for the first.
Fighting out into the rest. Comfy gets one with the bandit, but ultimately traded out in main, leaving just Redefy. Position perhaps alerted. Maybe, yeah, got some spam out, so they do know. And time has far expired at this point. Just going to go down to the bomb. Nope. Go down to Destroyer, actually. But things, the economy's in a great spot. A few remaining rounds of this half. You're right, the ults make it expensive, but I think it's a worthwhile investment this deep into the half, and already with a round lead, looking to make that lead grow.
Yeah, I mean, they've guaranteed the even half for their offensive side at this point. Could prove to be a little bit worrisome if you're EMU. They're 6-4, could take things even further for NIU. One off the convergent pass means they still got a good way to fight back into this. Oh. We're traveling through time.
We're good. Luckily, no engagement has been had early on. Bagel's going to hold on to A main for the team, while the whole of EMU is postured, position a little bit forward, trying to get that early info, the early peaks. Prowler over towards B main. They're looking to go exploring A. At least find the trip. Makes it worth their while, and a beautiful hinder. Cannot teleport out in time.
Yeah, those crosscuts not quite fast enough. Mamba, though, close to Lumac here, but the crosshairs not trained on the right position for Mamba. Now with 5 versus 3 very early on. Redefy even already stacked towards B. They've just split up across the map here. Pretty comfortable playing this advantage. Lumac, though, once again, a little bit forward. If he gets caught out, that could be a chance for NIU, but with that just tiny angle, is able to get out with his life, give some good information for the rest of EMU to know how they want to play this one.
Yeah, just given the pixel angle. I mean, as soon as Bagel goes down, NIU don't really have another way back into the round. They try to make something happen over toward mid, and they will persist towards A, but the time is just so low. There's 3 defenders to meet. It'll have to be gunfights. Alexander gets the best of 9bu. Look at a potential flawless round. On the penultimate, Destroyer gets the first kill. And then 1v5 where there just isn't enough time.
Nope.
Okay,
well handled that time around.
6-6 maybe. 6-6 maybe.
A nice push forward there at the start from Alexander. A great read on how Bagel was trying to play that. And the crosscut just not enough to get him out of position. Save his life. 6-5 in favor of NIU. EMU would love to ensure this half is even, to give them the best fighting chance possible on their offensive side. Facing into the double controller with the Sentinel, with the Veto. Could be troublesome, and it's a fast convergent pass coming out immediately.
Oh, great 0 point, but it will not stop the W key. 9bu goes forward. They haven't cleared Lumac yet, who was the one who got hit by the convergent pass. Originally, they should know he's here on account of the 0 point. Spammed out through heaven.
That's the null command.
As a matter of fact, quick on the flank, low HP for Wolfenite. They're just going to give it. Decide to look elsewhere for the time being. Maybe borrow themselves deeper into the site. Conversion paths look great here. It's at least onto 2 players, but 9bu close to the corner. Redefy is not ready with the clear. And, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Back against the wall. You're not going anywhere.
The fast hit, it wasn't even the player hit by the convergent pass that died. Comfy trying to get Lumac out of dodge, ends up overextending for his own life, and Lumac trying to even things out once again, drops with the null command in the back pocket, means they just didn't really have a way to fight back in. So NIU, on the unfavored side, goes up 7-5 on their map pick, going into their defensive half. Now, last defensive half where we had this veto come out, I wasn't too enthralled by how the util was being utilized. It was kind of left when Bagel was just trying to fend for himself on the site, not able to be capitalized off of by the rest of the team, not even really by himself, often having to cross cut out. And it seems like the setup's going to be similar here, but I think on a map like this, there's a lot more tricky positions you can play around and use the cross cuts to get out of. And it can be harder to break out. You're less likely to see these site splits, especially on B, coming through where they can isolate that interceptor. But Bagel, a little bit forward into 3 members of EMU and gets hit with the 0 point, means they're going to be able to just break into the site for free. But the spike lagging behind, Comfy with the Sheriff lurking in mid. Has one.
Yeah, they weren't ready to capitalize. 9boo goes out on his own off the back of it, trades back the kill with some spam from Destroyer. Oh my goodness, we didn't see. Just narrow margins. Like we said, they had a timing, but the spike was not ready to capitalize. Okay, pixel angle falling off, recoiling back, and Bagel keeps trying to step up onto the plate. We'll regroup now with Destroyer. They go deep with the paranoia. Invested. This is such advanced positioning for EMU. They've got to be willing to fight back into this. An engagement taken. It's a great jump from Bagel and a right click, and Destroyer right by his side. Lumac caught out while reloading. Leaves things all up to Wolfenite in the 1v3. Drops the 2 with ease. Sheriff in hand in the headshot. Does connect. It's a much needed pistol off the back of a heroic 1v3 from Wolfenite.
Beautifully played. The 2 low HPs, despite losing that engagement in CT, meant it was just one shot to both of them from Wolfenite, and then has the exact read on where Mamba's going. Is a crucial pistol, which should set them up to even things out, give them potential to go up here on this series. Huge stuff from Wolfenite. Good to see him back in this form we have been known to expect from him.
Very nice. We've got to make it a clean anti-eco, however. Some set dashing into the fray with the Bucky. At the same time, flash from both sides. They're looking to pinch the site, actually refracting out, giving up elbow, giving Mamba a chance to go forward, try to take a timing, take a swing out, but Alexander tucked behind the corner now. It's good for it. They're fighting out Wolfenite with another, traded out by 9boo, and Alexander gets the jump onto things. They're forced to fight it out in the site with the weaponry. Favoring, oh my goodness, they line up for 9boo. Forget whatever I'm talking about. Comfy has it all to do. Low HP, Guardian in hand, plenty of ammunition.
Oh no.
It's beautiful. The peaks just, I mean, the spacing was great, but Comfy was sharp with the shots. It's a very costly anti-eco, though.
Oh, certainly. You're not looking to EMU to really be able to convert this bonus. It should allow NIU to maintain some kind of lead. Very nearly gets there, but it's actually something of a lineup here. The spacing not quite there. The timing was good, but just got to hold exactly the positions just the same. Now, rifles in the hands of actually both sides. A force into this for EMU means they might try to make something happen here. Bucky in Alexander's hand, but it's not going to go to the anchor's position just yet.
Interceptor already down in this smoke. Will be in trouble, I think, when the smoke fades, but for the time being, as this Bucky actually goes forward. That's a bold decision from Alexander, swiftly punished by 9boo. And now they are like rabbits, just caged up in the site. Retake coming out. Odin for Destroyer. And it's proficient. 9boo swinging out still. It all has to happen from main now. 3 players. 9boo at third on the round. Looking mighty fine. And the defuse should go through here without a problem. We're jumping through. But it's just not enough. Everyone in the smoke, protecting each other. There is time. Things got perhaps a little bit close, maybe more close than I was aware, but at the end of the day, a retake together for NIU.
Yeah, the post-play positions were not quite enough. Lumac alone on site after Alexander gets a little adventurous. Maybe he could have hoped that he just holds that close angle with the Bucky, could be a lot more troublesome. But when there's so many other positions that the retake was coming in from, that's a really tough ask. Regardless, hard to criticize, hard to know what was the right play there, but it means NIU get up to 8, and the buy is not great for EMU. They're gonna try to force yet again. Something
Still
with just the Deagle to play with.
Great economic damage for both sides. It's scrappy buys back and forth. Wolfenite pick onto top mid. And the Outlaw, only one bullet connecting onto Alexander, will drop him down to 10 HP. But ultimately the kill is what's going to be critical there. 5v3. They have numbers here. For even the spike, I mean, the world's really their oyster here. Go pretty much wherever. Going back towards B. Bagel's got so much to do here. Wants to go exploring, try to get that info, try to get the re-clear. And does walk up onto the angle. Redefi's holding. And that should be the round. Open and shut. You'd hope 5v2 post plant on B.
Yeah.
With the whole map to clear as well.
Yeah, could be aware of any possible position. Comfy's just there, still with the sheriff in hand. Looking to maybe retrieve one of those outlaws or something. But a great play there from EMU to take that mid control. Wolfenite with some early spam, takes out Destroyer, and that through that gap, Alexander does well to find the outlaw at a range 9 was not really expecting. And Comfy, like I said, with that sheriff, is gonna go hunting to try and do even more damage. The money not great for NIU, despite winning the round before.
Alexander as well. 1 HP. Coming up through spawn. They want to take these guns out of their hands. Still at a round deficit. They will tie up the score here. But they want the economic damage to be as large as possible. But Alexander might be good. Dropped here on a timing. What is going on with the spam? They both survive.
I can't believe Alexander lives.
Yeah,
10
right?
HP. I thought it was ill-advised to keep
bullet.
pushing. But manages to escape with his own life, not able to take out those last 2 rifles. Regardless, EMU now tie things up once again, 8-8. And the money should be looking mighty fine for them. NIU, though, not out of it by any means in this next round.
Certainly not. Certainly not, but maybe a
Right now, we've seen the presence be, and it's a fast hit. Fast counter hit, rather.
The defenders want to push out. Get that B main control. EMU are ready to fight back. Flashes coming out, coming through. Hindered up, gonna force the retreat. They tried to fight back, but Lumac is good. Not even a scratch on him. So they win solidly. The fight for B main, caught with his knife out as Bagel. Comfy slices him up, completely toasted. And I mean, they're actually, the spike's going back to A here.
Yeah, Mamba is still around here. Could cause some trouble if he can isolate the fight onto Comfy, but Comfy gets the better of it. Now it's just Vinx left in a 1 versus 4 on the other side of the map. Similar sites to the round previous, just mirrored. Has so much to clear. Lumac gone exploring, gets caught out with the knife. But that's just going to be all Vinx goes for.
But with
the
that
tempo
death,
change, yeah.
He gets the ultimate online. Look at the ultimates for the next round.
Oh, wow.
For EMU.
That's a lot to play with. And, of course, the Convergent Pass was committed this round from NIU on a fast play. Maybe a little, I don't know, it doesn't exactly play to the strengths of the composition, but when on the other side of the map, they had both Mamba and Bagel there, the double anchor setup to try and absorb a fast refight in, but just did not go NIU's way. And so there was really not much hope after that engagement went south for them. Now, EMU with the advantage in this map for the first time, I think. I struggle to remember, but first time in quite some time at the very least.
Yeah. I think maybe I think they had like a 4-3 lead, and then it got quickly answered back to, regardless, the lurks are great from Comfy, the util's great, the fighting back, the calls are excellent from EMU. It's what we've come to expect, and like we said, they've got so many ultimates to work with. It's a timeout, much needed one for Northern Illinois to try to readdress what's going on. See what adjustments we can make.
So far, I think the very various tempos in approach from EMU has been really, really nice. Whether it's B fast to try and take that early engagement, deny the line from Bagel, whether it's that fight into mid or that round a much slower start. They seem to have had all the answers. And I think,
Yeah.
we've seen the same setup more or less from NIU each time. That last round, they tried to change things up on a specific ult play. That's not exactly the most reliable. I think I would like to see them continue to try to keep the mix-ups going, to let EMU have a more difficult time figuring out what the setup's going to look like. They just got the Sova in terms of the information gathering, and I suppose they can get something with the no command or the 0 point. They've been using that pretty early for the most part, and it's the same setup this round. Nothing crazy for the eco round.
Oh,
And Alexander gets an early pick.
first blood drawn. Destroyer falls top mid once again. Still exploring towards bottom mid. Two players not ready to give up that control. Holding onto it, Alexander has to step up to the plate, gets one and is privy to the second, but actually chooses the wrong corner, dashes, refracts out, and makes us there to meet it. But in the meantime, the round has already been decided. It's a very fast one. Alexander just kind of shrugging, go like, I don't know.
They just kind of went for him. Destroyer gets picked off again in top mid. That position, you can't do a whole lot from it with the fade unless you're expecting a fast fight into mid from EMU, which they have done before. But like I said, the tempo mix-up means that despite being committed to that position, not able to get any value out of it.
Right.
Again, Spike trending towards B, where Bagel's left. This time, not totally on his lonesome, but the mid presence, it's just Alexander trying to sell this fake.
Trying to punish. It's been repeated presence from the defenders. Top mid, just barely hovered the knife pullout and melted by the Odin in the back. Destroyer, Ninebu in perfect harmony, getting a group ace on the round between the two of them. It's an equally as fast round as the last one.
Yeah, the presence from Alexander in mid didn't really draw enough attention, at least not for long enough. While the site hit came through, it was just the spam coming out from Ninebu, coming out from Destroyer with that Odin, just shut down the site hit, even though Bagel had to vacate the premises due to that null command. It's 2 ults committed for a round loss. NIU with a much better shot into things now.
Right, quick dashes once again. Shades of Osboss, Hunter's Fury, but it's a safe teleport out from Vinx. In the meantime, Comfy walked up towards A, notes no challengers. Mamba lurks in the smoke. Coiled up. The drone should get it clear. We're just looking to dump some util onto the site for reconsidering things, actually. Walking back. Nightfall onto the site as well. Expended, but absolutely no one found. That's actually, it's good info, but maybe a little bit misleading. Mamba from elbow peeks out. The spam trades back through the smoke. Odin in hand. Viper's pit. Things are about to get messy. Drops the pit immediately with the Odin through the wall. Now forced Lumac to go walking up onto elbow, but just can't get the pick. Vinx is too good, too ready for it. Taking the fights together as well. Very nice from Ninebu. Very nice from Northern Illinois to tie things at double digits.
Despite the fade ult connecting onto nobody, I think it gave EMU a cue that they actually want to go back into this, but the timing just wasn't there. NIU is ready to keep fighting into this, and the pick committed into the Odin just immediately didn't pan out. I was like, when you're up against that Odin right there to that small choke point and the paper thin walls, there's really not a whole lot you can do to break into that site, and we see it go back to bite EMU. Another ult committed into another round loss, and now it's 10-10 with ults far more in advantage of NIU. They got the Viper's Pit, went off the convergent pass from the shadows as well, just in the back pocket should they need it. But EMU now, with the timeout of their own, wants to find some new answers, trying to approach things a little bit differently after 2 rounds really do not go their way.
It's, as you say, those last 2 rounds critical in drying up the ultimate reserve. for EMU. And now with some momentum and some ultimates on their side, it's Northern Illinois looking to take their map. 3 rounds for each team. Possible OT in the cards, but I don't want to call anything just yet. It's just, it really just looked like indecision. Perhaps maybe we're not liking what we hear in the comms. EMU taking that time out to regroup, recuperate, get a better understanding of what's going on. And they'll go back to things. This mid default, 2 ultimates expended. And once again, Alexander has been so good with the spams. I mean, those tracers aren't doing you any favors, just spraying down top mid with the Odin. Forces 9bu to activate the refract and try to trade things back, get a little bit frisky.
Really good opening, but they still have to deal with that Viper's Pit from Mamba has full B main control. Meanwhile, it's the Senti setup, the Veto from Bagel has a really good anchoring ability here with Lynx in tow, able to really just shut down something should EMU choose to commit to this position, which I think they kind of have to at this point with Mamba's forward control. They spot out the cross or the chokehold.
Just going prodding, looking for some information. Yeah, 2 over towards mid. The call will become the spike is going to go backwards. Looks like they want to fight back into the pit, but it's great productivity from NIU.
And no drone to clear out Mamba, but he's going to pay that respect, at least to start.
Dash into the Viper's Pit, hindered up, and should be able to collect the kill. Alexander, very good. The tip of the spear onto this one. The spray, they sort of line up for Vinx. Has a lot to do here. Jumps out onto the site. Going out, Lumac isn't ready for the swing, but great movement, great sidestep, great readjustment. And great individual plays, great micro plays coming out for EMU to be able to work their way through the pit.
Yeah, I was saying they didn't have the drone to work with, but instead Alexander was that drone and had the saturate available to shut things down. Bagel sticking around, maybe he wants to make a go of this. The econ's been pretty good for them, finds the first, but I think that's going to be all the time taken away. Not looking to fall.
Yeah, just saving the weapon.
And once again, it was that pick onto Destroyer that really opened things up for EMU. I thought NIU did a great job trying to play back into it. The A setup was nice. The reclear was good. But then, like you're saying, the microplays from EMU were just too good when they needed it most. And now 11 rounds, 2 away from closing out this final map, potentially their final game of the regular season.
Right, I need to see Destroyer just chill. Things worked great when he was just chilling top mid. He didn't have to leave top mid, just relax there, wait to punish the aggression. I mean, when he's taking the fight to him, it has not gone favorably, I think, in any of these rounds in the second half. But at the same time, it's 2 ults expended from the defenders and a round loss. The economy is good, as you mentioned.
They still have the convergent pass available. So there's a lot they could do. But yeah, this time they're able to take control. Though EMU looking to fight into this. Destroyer even taking some chip damage already.
Spam's been good. We need not mention drone does spot out 9bu. Gonna be the trigger for the paranoia and the fight out into mid. 2 kills claimed. Giving a comfortable man advantage. Lumac has to make a play. Has to get a kill, but instead spammed out. Wall bang, no doubt, from Destroyer. And I mean, we're looking at silver linings here. Alexander should have the convergent paths for the next round. Should he get a kill or go down? I just really don't think they have time to work with here. No, we're just going to save the weapon.
Not at all. Comfy maybe looking to put some damage on, but at this point, I think the eco isn't too stable for either side. It could be more risk than it's worth. And with just a couple rounds left to play with, you really want to make sure you have the best shot into these last couple goes of it. An excellent counter to the refight for NIU into mid. Now giving EMU that space to work with that they've been kind of able to capitalize on in mid for many rounds here. And we're still 11-11. This game's been very, very back and forth. NIU want to get this map win, want to take us to a map 3, potentially win the series to give themselves a guaranteed shot into the playoffs. EMU has nothing to play for but to deny it.
Right. And yet things getting quite tense, quite thick. Here we're at 11-11. Winner of this round gets map point. NIU has the convergence path still to work with. Alexander, one off. Going to be pretty much going to be the only ultimates in play in this round, it would seem. Everyone's over towards A. It's going to be a fast strat from the shadows, canceled, but gives Alexander the info and the opportunity to dash in. Does not have to refract out. Instead, going to take the space. An unlucky bounce, honestly. That's not where the molly was meant to go, but still, lands directly on top of it. Vinx holding the site by himself. Some great movement. Bagel swings in. Mamba in the back. Wolfenite is so good for it. Fighting eagerly on the site. Convergent paths invested as well. Looking to take the fight. They should know that both these players are over towards mid, but they don't. NIU still evades detection, repositions from EMU. A 1v3 to deny map point.
He is the top frag.
He's the top frag, but spotted out now. After the jump peak, it seems like an impossible crossfire, smoke to swing through. Should we want to reposition, just to come down to the gunplay. Might not be even expecting Alexander. Close. Guarding the spike, and so EMU draw themselves up to map point. Only one chance to close this out in regulation.
Indeed. And all the ults expended in that round means NIU and I mean both sides, they just it's just going to be about the individuals. Wolfenite's close, but not quite there. It's all up to how they want to play this out. No ultimates, no game-changing abilities to be used. I think a lot of that came down to Redefy, just like spotting out NIU as he goes for the convergent pass and just kind of shuts down any potential off that play. And then Alexander answers back with his own to further secure the round. Now, that's another exploration into mid, going a little deeper, but gets caught out. That is not what you want going into the final round, potentially, of this game.
Oh, Bagel tries to answer it back, takes the risk, trade it out. 1 for 1 there. That's A-okay. Exploring over towards mid. They might have a good timing, but Comfy is ready. He is waiting, absorbent and porous. Just ready. Crosshair completely in the right spot. Trained on it. Maybe has a jump at things. Very nice from NIU. A little bit of spam as well. Get that confidence up. They've got one chance to bring this to overtime, to give themselves a lifeline. Destroyer takes the timing. Ample opportunity. Spammed out. Now 2 versus 2. But they should know about both players. Should have heard. Teleport. Actually, no. Goes exploring into mid. NIU dashes out on top. Hinder misses the mark. Lumac is a free man. Walking around. Full utility. Just needs to take the timing. Hides from the haunt. But NIU, sharp as anything. Doing the whole retake almost himself. Of course, Destroyer does great to get the first pick on the way thing. And we're going to overtime on map number 2.
Indeed we are. NIU's got a chance to take this map, take us to map number 3 in the final hour. The trades just go 1 for 1 for most of that, with the advantage in favor of EMU until that pick from Destroyer catching Alexander lacking a little bit. And then from there, the 1v1s do not go EMU's way. Now we go switching sides. EMU on the defense, NIU on the attack. It's been 6-6, both, or no, 7-5 attack for NIU. Had the advantage. Let's see if they can work the same magic we saw first go around from them.
Early B main aggression. Comfy should be there to make note of it. Just on the pixel. Looking to actually break the veto trip. Getting a little bit antsy. Should be okay. Interceptor. Yes, procced. As we go exploring towards mid. Fighting forward into yard is EMU. They're ready. Should they decide to turn into A. Comfy still got that early information in B main. will be able to back off. Lumac flash goes a little bit wide. Self flash as well. Prowler gives away the position, and he's forced to back off to meet up with the rest of the team. At the same time, Alexander goes forward.
They've been so comfortable able to play these B retakes, and it's comfy to take this first contact. Ideally, going to try to get out with his life after finding the information, giving you the best fighting chance back into this. But we'll see with 3 members going to face off.
Oh,
Gets one and gets
shot.
out.
Beautiful
That's
shot.
exactly what you
Completely
want.
unscathed as well. Draws the first blood, and that's low HP. Maybe a collab for Nimbu. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Regardless, Fearless dashing out. Doesn't die either. A little whiffy for
30
Comfy.
seconds left.
Spammed out. Spam to be found. Keeping things controlled here. Alexander finds Nimbu. The bomb hasn't even had the chance to go down. Comfy drops Vinx. Mamba caught out in middle. Completely alone. It's a big 1v1 over towards middle. Alexander doesn't even have to take it. The last remaining player,
Wow.
Redefy, comes in from top mid to give EMU another map point.
A beautiful round. The util trades in mid to shut down that taking attempt from NIU, and then Comfy with that great opener. At that late in the round, it was the first blood. And then afterwards, the site take was just not comfortable. The smoke's not able to cover all the potential positions. And Nine was just so uncomfortable, looking every which way, ultimately drops. And now EMU with another chance to close this one out right here, right now on their offensive side for the final map, potentially, of the season.
I love how they've adjusted in their attack rounds to the mid fight in these later rounds, seemingly giving it up after NIU fought it a little bit more intelligently with some more purpose. Early shots exchanged over towards B, but nothing crazy. We're backing off. Lumac inserted into B main. Gotta adjust my. I mean, NYU love to re-clear.
Destroyer playing it a little more cautiously, does not want to get caught out, does not want to be the opening that EMU gets into this final round. Alexander's creeping up. No refracts placed just yet, so if he gets caught out here, that's it.
We're all in. It's absolutely all in. Util expended, just creeping up, walk contact, and knows info on the second. Oh my goodness. Beamed through by the Odin. Prevents a double entry from Alexander. Regardless, things are still uncomfortable. You can see Destroyer is looking around, checking his left and right. Very uncomfortable, feeling the squeeze at this point. Recon Bolt will take note of his position. A great seize, however, and despite being full, blinded up, is able to answer back with the Odin. Surviving his life, getting a third before getting dropped by Comfy. A critical man advantage on the defense. It's heroic from Destroyer. 2v3, the chance to close out the map, close out the series. Just looking to take these fights when they can. Tucked on site, Redefy clears the flank briefly. It's a little bit wide from the paranoia. Comfy fighting on all fronts, gets info on the second, and Redefy. So good. Low HP. Thanks to do it all to save the team, to give them a lifeline back into this. The crossfire's too good. Redefy takes a perfect timing. It's a 14-12 victory to close out the series, to close out this season going into playoffs for EMU.
Great stuff in that micro there at the end. Comfy with the molly means Redefy just gets to isolate on the one potential angle that they could come from, and it was a very back and forth on that map number 2, but ultimately EMU closes it out, makes things uncomfortable for NIU in terms of their playoff chances, stuck in that 4 to 6 zone, that limbo where 4 of their teams sit.
Yeah, it's going to be...
We'll have to wait and see what happens there when we close up the last matches in this season. But that's it for EMU in the regular season.
Yeah, and I mean, I said I was looking at Lumac, I was looking at Wolfenite, and despite both of them going negative in this series, I'm not feeling too bad at all. Great step-up performances from Comfy on both maps. Alexander more than pulling his own weight on the entry as well. I think EMU is looking mighty fine. Some small things to clean up, but I have no doubt that given some time and some practice, they will be there.
Yeah, now it's all eyes on the playoffs. LAN their chance to get some revenge against Akron, prove themselves once again against Ball State, the other top 2 seeds going into things. It's going to be very, very exciting.
Right. It's great way to end off the season for EMU. They're looking postured. They're looking ready for success. They've got some tough opponents to meet, like you say, but that is going to do it from us. It's been a pleasure casting your regular season. I've been Menderbug, joined by Gary, and we hope you enjoy playoffs and have a wonderful night.